watching this video, then you have decided to take my one-day course to honor your body, mind, soul, and spirit. Congratulations. I'm so glad that you decided to take action, that you decided to heal, that you decided to feel the hope, the healing, and the peace that you can find from this process. This is a fibromyalgia flexibility routine that I put together when I was too weak to do much of anything else. I had aches in all of my joints and pain and just felt miserable pretty much throughout the day. So this is something that I put together from my background, my educational background. I am a retired occupational therapy assistant, so I do know that we have synovial fluid in our joints, in each one of them. So it's much like the oil that we need to grease the squeaks in cars or the hinges of doors. So that's what we need to do with our joints. This was very helpful to me. I was doing this early in the morning or in the, right at bedtime, or even sometimes during the day when I was just taking a rest and needed something to kind of help me feel better and relieve some of the pains that I was having. So I hope you enjoy the routine. We're going to go ahead and get started with the neck joint. So I will be in the lying position, and then when I do the feet movements, I'll go ahead and be in a seated position just so that you can see the demonstration. So I will get started here. Hopefully you can see me just right. All right, so for the neck, we're going to start in a neutral position, which is just looking straight up to the sky. And then you're just going to turn your head to the right, which will rotate that neck joint, and then return back to midline. And then rotate to the left, just like that. And then back to midline. And you want to make sure you're watching your breath. You want to be breathing an even count of 4. So 4 in and 4 out. So I'll demonstrate it with the next movement, which is the rotation of the shoulder. So if you just raise your arms up to the sky, what you want to do here is you just want to rotate those arms out and then rotate them back in. And I'll show you that breath. So here we go for a count of 4 in. And 4 out. So just like that, you want to be nice and even. You don't want to wear yourself out. Okay, the next joint that we're going to rotate is the elbow. I find that if I have my elbows on the bed or the mat, makes it so much easier, and also if I have my hands in a fist. So I just rotate away and then toward. And you'll want to do each of these 10 to 15 repetitions, whatever your ability is. The next joint will be the wrist, so you can stay here with the elbows touching the bed or the mat, and then you just want to rotate toward and then away. And you can do all 15 in one direction, and then you can turn and do the other direction. Whatever works for you, wherever you're most comfortable. The next movement is going to be in the fingers. So we're going to start in extension, and that just means having the fingers straight, and then we just want to flex, and that's just making a fist. So extend and flex. And again, 10 to 15 repetitions. Oh, that feels so good. You'd be surprised. And then the next movement for the hands is going to be finger adduction, which is fingers touching each other just like I have here, and finger abduction or abduction. Some people pronounce it a little differently, and that's just fingers away from each other, just separate like that. And then just watch your breath again. So you want to be 4 in, 4 out. So a nice fluid movement. Okay, we're going to move on to the lower body. So for the lower body, we're going to do the hips. I try to bring my feet in just a little bit more. And I like to have my feet touching and my knees touching. It just seems to help me be a little bit more coordinated. And I find that if my arms are in a cactus position, that helps so they don't get in the way when I'm rotating. So we're just going to rotate to the right, and your head can follow your hips because it usually, they usually move together if you move one or the other. So if it feels better to move them together so that way you feel more fluid, that's fine. And you'll watch your breath. So that's nice and good. All right, your next movement is going to be your knee joint. So what we'll do here, I like to just raise one leg, and have my knee just like so. And then all you're going to do is just rotate out. There you go. And then rotate in. And then just follow your breath. Then you'll want to do 10 to 15. You'll want to just change sides, and then the same thing. Just like that. Okay? And then the next joint that we're going to rotate is going to be the ankles. So for the ankles, I usually have one leg straight and one leg bent. So the ankle that I'm going to rotate, I have my foot a little bit up off of the bed of the mat, and then I just rotate my foot away. And then toward. And then I just switch. And you'll want to do 10 to 15 of these. Just like so. All right, we're at the toe movements, so I'm going to go ahead and transition to a seated position so it will be easier for the demonstration. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the last movement of the Fibromyalgia Flexibility routine. That would be toe extension and toe flexion, and then toe adduction and abduction or abduction. Some people say it different. So toe extension are just toes straight. Toe flexion, just toes bent. And you would repeat 10 to 15 repetitions. And then toe adduction are just toes touching. And abduction or abduction are just toes separate or away from one another. And again, you would do 10 to 15 reps. So that is the end of this routine. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps you as much as it did me. We are at the end of our one-day course, so I want to thank you for joining me. I want to congratulate you once again, and I want to say that I'm very proud of you for taking action. You are on your way to healing, and I also want to invite you to take a look at my 70-day course. It will include all of the same 5 areas. It will just be much longer. We will have approximately 2 weeks in each of the areas so we can delve in and really get to those techniques that are going to make a difference in your life. So again, thank you, and I hope to see you in the 70-day course.